Right, listeners, there are two types of people in the world. There are people that look like mice, and there are people that look like rats.
Dan is the one who's a rat. Everyone else is a mouse.
Look at your loved ones, judge them accordingly, let us know. Tell us about the rats in your life. Welcome to this week's episode of the Lads Film Thing podcast, where four friends discuss a film and generally have a good time. Be warned, there will be spoilers for this 20-year-old film. So you've got Lucy.
Hello.
Me, Abby. Dan.
Hi.
And Sam.
Hey.
This week was my film choice, and I chose The Men Who Stare at Goats, the 2009 Grant Heslov film starring some of our favourites.
Is that based on a book?
It is. Would you like to know more?
Yes, please.
What's the book called?
The book is called The Men Who Stare at Goats, and it's by John Ronson.
Ron Swanson.
Incorrect. Although,
Yeah.
He's in it.
he is in it. Also, it's fair to say that we have been doing some reviewing of what films kind of get us more listens and less listens, and I hold no hope for this film getting any listens. Literally, this film came out in November 2009, and after December 2009, no one had ever thought about it again, I think, other than me. And John Monson, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I think they did because it must have come out at the cinema, and then it was released on DVD, and we bought the DVD. And I think if it was an entire flop, they would not have released the DVD, right?
That's a good point, actually.
I don't know, it's quite cheap to make a DVD.
True.
And we bought it.
Wait, has there ever been a film where it's been at the cinema and then not come out on DVD?
Yeah, that's true.
Just
That would
disappear
never
off the face of the
happen.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they go up in films before the cinema, don't they, if they're going to scrap a film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Batgirl.
Oh, it was a shame. I was looking forward to
I
that.
want
wanted that.
Let us know if you were also looking forward to Batgirl.
Or any
Or-
other films that you wanted to see at the cinema and were scrapped.
Yeah.
Or if you thought about The Men Who Stare at Goats following December 2009. Until this point.
Or if you wish it didn't come out at the cinema at all.
Or...
Yeah. Let us know if you think this film should have been scrapped.
Cool. Okay, so it's got an amazing, like little starter where you see U.S. Army General Hopgood attempt to run through a wall, and I think that's really good when you don't know what the film's about. You're like, I know nothing about this, and you see that, and you're like, what the fuck? I literally have still no clue what's happening here.
Yeah.
So that is the first bit.
And that's Stephen Lang, who always seems to play an army general.
Has
Really?
he ever played anything else?
I don't know. I didn't really recognise him.
He's,
Oh,
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
I
he's
was
great in that.
wondering. Yeah.
He definitely has an army general look about him.
He does. Does he have a mustache in Avatar as well?
I think he does.
yeah, I can't remember.
He has a very military mustache.
Yeah, he is a very military-like man, isn't he? He's quite scary. He's a good villain in Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. But from the title of this movie, I literally had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what it was about. And then, yeah, that first scene just throws you off even more. You're just like, what am I going to be watching here?
Yeah. So then we meet Bob Wilton, played by Ewan Macgregor, doing quite a good American accent,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is he Scottish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear a little bit of a Scottish
Yeah, yeah.
vibe throughout, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, Ewan.
Yeah, he did well. And you meet him and you meet his wife, who leaves him for the editor, which is amazing because he's got that robo arm.
Yeah. For no reason at all. Like those.
Yeah, yeah. And there's that bit where it's like a flashback and he's arguing and he's got him in the headlock with the robot arm. Prosthetic arm, I believe it's called actually, but
Oh, yeah.
it's so funny.
Hang on, this is 2 movies now where someone has had a prosthetic /
Yeah.
/ robot arm. Is this the theme?
Could be.
The other one was the creator, wasn't it?
No, Young
Young
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
But in
Three
the
then.
creator,
Yeah, he had a fake limb, didn't he?
Who?
Oh, he did.
yeah.
This is an actual real theme.
The main guy.
John David
John
George
David.
Washington.
Yeah.
Yep, that's him. So
Oh, so he did. Yes, you're right.
go
was
back and
honest, wasn't
listen to our
Yeah.
other. We may well put together like a list of films that we have done that involved people wearing prosthetic. And
Yeah.
actually, if we add to that Amsterdam, he's got a prosthetic
Nice.
eye.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Can we make a whole human body for different films?
from the different characters we're watching. Yeah.
Is this the film Jeepers Creepers?
Oh,
Wasn't that
God.
what
Yeah.
happened in that?
That's too scary.
I hate that film.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's the
hate that
worst.
film.
Yeah. We should not watch it, but we are
It is that.
making
yeah.
it.
Well, it's actually my film choice next, so up yours, everyone. The other theme we do have running through this is moustaches. Almost every one of these
do.
films
Oh,
we've
yeah.
Oh,
reviewed,
that's true.
we've been like, oh, this guy's got a great moustache,
Oh, yeah,
or a terrible
right.
moustache. It seems like every film, though, someone's got a moustache
Yeah.
there.
Do we need to add a score on the end for quality of moustache?
Oh, that's actually. I'm going with that.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Sam, I don't think you've got enough maths to do generally in our show.
I don't think we should.
No?
Because some people, it's not their choice, is it? They just can't.
True.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
Is true.
And I know we're all thinking but not saying of Dan's disgraced gym teacher moustache that he had last week.
Oh, that was shocking.
Yeah, that was bad.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's you.
Can we put a picture of just this bit of your face?
Just the moustache.
Just the mouth and nothing else.
Oh, what we could do is put like Tom Selleck. Also Dan, and be like, whose moustache is this?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Who wore it worse?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Tom Selleck, was it? Obviously. So he really wants to prove himself. He talks about the little man inside him quite a lot. What is that? Sorry, I don't understand why that's funny.
I was thinking of something I said earlier.
Sam?
That same thing.
When you're both separately at work. Okay. And so he flies to Kuwait. And while he's there, and actually, before this, we've met, and I don't know his name. Hold on.
Gus Lacey.
Yeah, we've met Gus Lacey, and he's kind of spoken about a Psy guy that he knows. When Bob Wilton goes to Kuwait, he meets the Psy guy.
It's a small world, isn't it?
It is, this kind of thing doesn't really happen, does it? But anyway. And so he meets this retired US Army Special Forces.
Who also
Guy.
has to be wearing a name tag, which helps move the plot along.
Yeah.
When having a drink on his
And-
own in the evening.
Mustache.
Yeah. A good mustache. If we're not scoring, but it's a solid 8 out of 10.
Oh,
Okay.
that is a high level
Yeah.
mustache.
And a good tan.
Yeah.
He's very tan.
He's
isn't he?
very tan.
I had to check the saturation on our TV.
George Clooney is so tanned.
Amazing. So then they start talking, and he reveals that he was part of a unit that did special kind of parapsychological training to become Jedi warriors, which there is a lot of talk of Jedi
The
warriors.
problem
There
is,
is,
like,
yeah.
and this is one where the first time they got Ewan Macgregor in there, I was like, oh yeah, he played a Jedi. So the first time I was like, that's quite funny, but
Yeah.
they mentioned that a lot, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kept coming around, didn't it?
Yeah.
That because obviously this is based on like true research and stuff, isn't it? I wonder if it's like, yeah, it was funny the first time, it was really good, and then it happened like 100 times, and I was like, oh well, I wonder if that's just because they literally did call them that, and they called themselves Jedi's like all the time in like the reporting.
Yeah,
or
they
something.
didn't.
Oh,
They
then
called
it's-
themselves
I thought the same
warrior.
thing, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called themselves warrior somethings.
Then it's
Warrior monks, warrior.
Then it's a weirdly overused joke in this
Yeah,
film.
they called themselves warrior monks. I felt the same. It was too over.
And it's one of those things where this movie is set in a world where Star Wars exists, and if they turned on the TV, Ewan McGregor would be on the
yeah.
TV, which is like, I know happens in loads of films, but it's
Yeah.
funny, isn't it? Like,
Unless it's
Yeah.
set before the remake, not the remakes, but the the next three.
Oh,
if it was set after the original trilogy, before Phantom Menace came out.
They came out quite early though, didn't it? When did Phantom Menace come out compared to this?
2009 for this one, yeah.
Phantom Menace was out like
Yeah.
way before.
They
that,
clearly they
that
were
was in the-
making
that
a
was,
joke.
like,
and
late
then-
Oh
90s,
yeah,
so-
and actually, this was set in the George Bush era as well, wasn't it? So it probably would have been out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they start talking about how this group is trained for superpowers, and asking how they kind of put themselves in the right zone. And it made me wonder what your superpower, like, not superpower, but like what your parapsychological skill would be if you were able to be trained to it in the US Army.
Oh right, well, like a specific task I could do.
Yeah, so some of the things they say about like remote viewing, they
Cloud
say about
bursting.
cloud bursting, invisibility, phasing through stuff.
Phasing through stuff would be pretty cool.
It's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably the. I don't know, maybe. I always just want to talk to animals. That's always my one when people talk about superpowers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to talk to animals.
Yeah.
That
do
would
it
be
anyway,
good.
though, to be fair.
To the catties.
You
Yeah.
can talk to animals, but it's understanding what animals have
Oh,
to
yeah,
say,
true.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Like I talk to Rocket all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I think
he's
Lucy would
saying.
have like nice conversations with the
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Though. That's a
could
good
that
one.
be involved in the military? I could. You know, they used to send those dogs.
Oh, under their tanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and train them.
Would you do that?
No, I could tell them, look, put the bomb down and then get yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then leg it.
That's true.
There you go.
I feel that like with even some more consideration of basic animal training, they probably should have got there
Yeah.
with
true.
that one. But
Yeah.
Dogs are pretty dumb though.
people are pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Is I think what we can take away from that story
Yeah,
though.
people are
Yeah.
very dumb.
But also
Yeah.
dogs though.
All right, no one likes this dog chat. This is losing us listeners right now. Dan, Sam.
I'll go phasing.
Okay.
From that list, they have in the.
How would you use it?
I suppose, like instead of like walking around to go to like the kitchen, you could just like go straight there.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm like, my life is so lame. If I'm invisible, what will I do? Literally nothing. I'll just go about my regular life, but I'll just be invisible.
I was going to say, if you're invisible, you could get yourself like locked in places without people knowing, which would be pretty cool.
Is that good or bad
Yeah, but
though?
you could just phase in when it's closed.
Oh, good
Yeah,
point.
that's true.
It saves you waiting around for
Yeah,
like-
but you might be seen. No, you might be seen. That's the point.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you want to go to the aquarium in London when it's not busy, wait till it shuts. Get inside. Okay, before it shuts, get inside. Turn yourself invisible. Then you can have a look around.
That'd be
So
cool.
your superpower is to save like £10 on an aquarium.
To see when it's not busy.
Look, we've got our regular lives. It has to
Yeah,
fit in with them.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what was your send down? Sorry.
I don't know, because that remote viewing does sound pretty cool.
Remote viewing.
And that's kind of like what Bran's got in Game of Thrones, is it?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Yeah,
he
that's
can be
true.
in like the eyes of the wolf and have a little look around
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
true.
actually.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I'm going to watch a film at the cinema right now.
Yes.
That would
For
be
free.
amazing. Yeah.
Although, I mean, I don't know how they describe it as working this film. Are you stopping that other person from watching it?
I don't think they
Actually,
do it through
code
someone
view.
else's eyes.
No.
I think they
yeah.
just,
It's
like-
it's just somewhere in the world they can picture it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be good. But also, don't forget montage learning. We, as a group, agreed that was the best superpower.
As a general superpower,
yeah.
yeah, we did speak about that.
Yeah.
Which would work well in this movie.
Yeah. Would.
There is a good montage in this movie, isn't there?
There is. So
It's later on though. Sorry.
Lynn Cassidy, George Clooney, he explains how this whole parapsychological core has started, and it's that an army officer called Bill Django, he discovered that his officers, his newly trained officers, were really reluctant to shoot. I don't actually know if that's true. I wanted to look and see if that was a true little fact, that is it only 20 to 25% of newly trained officers actually shoot to kill. But there's definitely some stuff that I've read before around, like firing squads.
Mm.
It normally is, out of a firing squad, literally one bullet that hits the person.
Really?
Yeah. And so everyone else is just trying not to hit that person, even though there's probably one psychopath that's like, yes, I get to do it again.
Jeez.
Yeah. So he then undertakes this whole fact-finding mission, which is done as a montage kind of, isn't it? Where he goes off and tries to find himself. Going to stuff like hot tub encounters, primal screaming, beyond jogging.
That's funny. I really like Jeff Bridges in this.
Yeah.
Like in quite often in films, he's a bit more of like a hippie kind of thing.
Yeah, he does it well, doesn't he?
He leans into that character. I think he does it really well. Like the dude in The Big Lebowski. He's good in that. Yeah. But like he's good in other stuff, like in Iron Man.
I was going to say he's good at being
really
high and tight too.
Yeah, high and tight, yeah. Yeah.
So he comes back, and actually, I was surprised by how kind of supported he was by the army with this.
Yeah. Even though it's based on a true story, it doesn't seem realistic.
Yeah. So he's got long braided hair and a tattoo of an all-seeing eye, which is something that Bob Wilton had drawn in his diary, book thing.
Yeah, notepad. Reporter's journal.
Oh, reporter's journal. And that's what they all had tattooed on them. Lynn Cassidy shows Bob Wilton the New Earth Army Manual, which Bill Django had put together, and how Lynn kind of started in all of this. And again, that was just such like brilliant montage bit of them doing stuff all together, wasn't it? And him being like the absolute best and what he could do with it in a really positive way. And obviously that started me Googling, and this New Earth Army Manual was a real thing.
Really?
And instead of the New Earth Army, they were called the First Earth Battalion.
Oh.
And they called themselves Warrior Monks. So that whole thing was like a real thing that they were doing.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know, I like that too. So one of the other students was a guy called Larry Hooper, played by Kevin Spacey. So Larry Hooper and Lynn Cassidy, they're kind of arguing constantly. Lynn Cassidy wants it to be really positive. Larry Hooper is more interested in the dark side of what they could do with it. So it was weird because they talked, I don't know when this was, but they spoke about that cyclotronic generator that the Russians had. And I was like, I'm going to Google and see whether this is real. Put in like a bunch of keywords around that. And all that came up was a CSI like database. No, CIA database thing. Where it was like some of the words in there. And I was like,
Weird.
what? I want a Wikipedia entry. I'll be honest, I didn't read it because there was no Wikipedia entry, but it seemed weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
Those guys in suits came and knocked on the door earlier as well, didn't they?
I don't know, I don't remember.
You got Men in Black.
Oh, I wish.
Oh,
Let us know if you want us to review Men in Black.
Can you please take that bit out? I think that's too far.
Okay, carry on.
Okay. Oh, God. Right, so then Lynn takes Bob into Iraq, and they're almost immediately kidnapped by criminals. Lynn first shows him the Predator weapon.
Yeah.
Dan, you were Googling this earlier, I think.
Yeah, I found a poster for the movie, and it basically was just this weapon, and it had like the logo and the actors and stuff, but it had like the weapon, and it had like the different uses for it, and it was really good. That little scene was so funny. It was just brilliant. Yeah, I liked that. I liked that whole bit where they're in the car and they were like talking. There's a really good bit where Ewan McGregor, Bob Wilton, is saying like, oh, he's reading from like a report of what they were practicing, that thing, and he's like, blah blah blah, this one, sparkly eyes technique.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, what is that? And then George Clooney's like, it's this. And then he's like looking at him.
Yeah.
And he's like looking back at the road because he's driving, and then he's looking at him. And that acting from George Clooney is so deadpan but amazingly funny.
Yeah.
I love George Clooney in this kind of role. He's so funny.
He plays squirrely so well.
Yeah,
Like, that
yeah.
is something that he just really
Yeah.
does.
Like, I know it's only in Fantastic Mr. Fox, he's just the voice actor, but he brings that to
Yeah.
That's
life
another
so
one.
much. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell he just is amazing in that, and this obviously.
And Oh Brother Where Art Thou? The other one
Yeah.
where he has that real like squirrely personality.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. And they do that amazing heads and tails thing
Oh yeah.
where he's like, "What's your record? 260 something." So they're in the desert. They're having that adorable bit, and George Clooney's like, "It's all a cover," and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't think you'd like to dance," and he's like, "No, I like to dance."
Oh yeah.
And then again, they had like an amazing montage of how that kind of happened. Hooper at that guy's wedding, where he's like, "I'm sorry, it doesn't work out
Oh,
for
yeah.
you."
Yeah, oh my
Just
god.
some real classic jokes there. And also Kevin Spacey's spirit guide, Maud.
Oh
Which
yeah,
was
that's
really
so
well
weird. Yeah, when they're trying to work out what's in that little lockbox thing,
Yeah.
and the spirit guide, I see. Tin cup. It's so weird. It's really funny though.
And the guy with bags of sand on hooks by his scrotum.
Oh, yeah.
As this is an episode where I'm asking loads of questions, what would you like hung from your scrotum by hooks?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is
Abby.
a good
I
question.
love it.
Feathers.
Yeah. Nothing.
Okay, well that's not really in keeping with the game.
Just the hooks then.
Oh. You went there quick.
Yeah, that's a bit sadistic.
That's the fixing though, isn't it?
Just ready for someone to come along and just hang something.
Oh, alright, fine, fuck it, nothing. Jesus Christ.
So, Lynn takes Bob into Iraq, they're kidnapped, and they escape with Mahmoud. Which, again, all of those people are like, "Mohammed, what are you doing?" He's like, "My name is Mahmoud." Oh, so just embarrassing. I
Yeah.
hate that.
Even
for
Ewan
people.
McGregor says that.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, "It's my
And the
move."
only person that doesn't is Lynn Cassidy. And I think that's amazing because obviously his whole thing is he's just like, he properly listens, he's properly
Yeah.
connected to people and
Yeah.
stuff. It was really good.
Oh yeah. And before that is when they've accidentally run him over, isn't it?
Yeah. They're trying to help him. They're like, "We're trying to help you, we're trying to help you." And then they run him over.
And that stuff, like, considering it's a whole empty desert, and same when they crash
Yeah.
the car, like, that is actually quite funny. Like, you'd think that joke would fall flat, but it does work pretty well.
Yeah. And then they flee because the two security details start fighting on each other. Fighting on each other? They start firing on each other. And then Lynn keeps having visions of Bill, Django, that are like calling to him, and he has to try and find him. So that's what they're going to do. Then there's a bomb that their car is hit by. Even though I've seen this, I didn't see that happening at all. Like, I couldn't remember that happening. There's that bit just before where they're waiting for ages, isn't there? And he's like, "I'm working on my level 2 intuition." He's like, "You can just see a road and you just make a snap decision."
Yeah.
He's like, "We've been here 30 minutes. What?
Yeah.
This is not a snap decision."
Yeah.
Also, the phrase "foobar." I did not know what this meant.
Yeah, Fubar.
Did you, Sam?
I've heard of it before, but I had to look it up again this time, and then I remembered I'd looked it up a previous time, but I'd totally forgotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even remember now.
Fucked up beyond all recognition.
Yeah.
And the guy actually says, "This is fucking Fubar," which kind
Yeah.
of, I feel like he didn't need to say
You didn't
like
need to
half
say
of
that twice,
Yeah.
but yeah. So they hit this roadside bomb, and then they wander the desert, and Lynn starts talking about how he had killed a goat because he was kind of the best of the best, and they wanted to test this weaponry on him, and so using just his mind, he stopped a goat's heart, and he believed that it cursed him always. And then after that, it shows Cooper conducting an LSD experiment, much like the MK Ultra stuff. And then a soldier killed himself, and that kind of disbanded the New Earth Army.
Yeah.
I know, and it's like weird because I didn't know, obviously, at the beginning, I didn't know where this movie was going to go. And I'm like, oh, the goats, they're not happy goats. Like, I wanted it to be... I don't know what I was
stare at
expecting.
goats and everyone has a nice time.
Yeah, I wanted...
You wanted like a Sound of Music star. There's just some goats, and everyone's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, look
sure.
at those goats! Let's
I
stare
could
at
go
them."
for that. Yeah, yeah. I was like, I mean, I know we've agreed that goats are probably the worst of all animals, considering the eyes. However,
The worst of all.
well,
In the eye department.
in the eye department,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mammal category.
Well, for eyes, no, for eyes.
For eyes, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But worst
No, that's it.
overall.
No, just for the
Mammals.
Just
rest.
eyes, yeah.
Okay.
They're good animals,
good.
generally.
That's
I
yeah.
don't think they're ranking high for any other category.
Wait, now I'm curious as to what comes below goats in the other non-mammals for you.
Non-mam.
Yeah,
Oh, loads of
like what though?
loads of lizards and stuff. Definitely.
Lizards are good.
Lizards are
What, we're talking
good.
bad eyes or like bad animals?
Bad animals.
Bad animals.
What, not mammals?
Yeah.
Not just all animals in the world?
Well, it just
Fucking
surprised.
wasps?
Yeah.
Tarantulas.
Yeah.
Tarantulas are
Hornets?
Wasps and hornets.
Blind
Goats.
ants.
I feel like we're speaking about different animals. Goats and tarantulas. Goats are so much better, surely.
I think in the grand
Tarantulas are
scheme
fine.
of things, goats are probably at least top 40.
Yeah.
What, good animals or bad animals?
Yeah, and good,
Good.
good animals.
Top 40, that's a quick decision there.
That's just a guess.
Well, name the other 39.
No, I don't think they're bad. I just think, like, there's not many animals that are bad, are there? So, like, in the grand scheme of, like, good animals, they don't rank very high.
I never give them much for, but I'm not. My hatred of goats ends after their eyes.
Yeah.
Excellent discussion.
I'm feeling quite like protective over goats.
And the Three Billy Goats Gruff was one of my favourite.
Oh,
books,
yes,
so-
actually.
so-
Yeah.
Right.
And just like imagine a pygmy goat walking over a bridge.
Yeah.
They're always walking over bridges.
Yeah, true.
Where are they going? They could go on the floor, but they're always going
Yeah, they're
over
on
the
the
top
bridge.
for some
No,
reason.
I don't mean the
I think it's
horrible.
called the ground outside.
The floor.
Is that? Do you think that's a genuine?
Yeah, when you're
Like
out
it's
in
ground
nature, it's
outside.
called-
Yeah.
Ah,
the
Sam's
ground,
called me out
yeah.
on this before.
Oh,
I'm
Sam.
going to go with it.
I think it's like, and the ceiling is the sky. Like,
No, that's not true. Well,
That
that's
is.
true.
I don't think you call it the floor unless, like, if it's natural, it's the ground.
Yeah.
I always still think if I said I dropped on the floor and I was outside, you would know what I meant.
I would know you
that's
then. But
true.
Correct
That is the
immediately.
Sam would
loophole, I think.
immediately be like, "I don't know where you've dropped.
Yeah.
You must have thrown it inside."
Yeah, no, I'm being too harsh on goats, but I just
Yeah,
mean
thank
like,
you.
I don't love them immediately, but I still don't want them to be like hurt or involved in any sort of experimentation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's fair.
I wanted happier goats in this movie. I wanted to prove Billy Goat's gruff, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
We can review that next time, but
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a child's nursery rhyme.
Storybook.
Yeah, it's a story.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's not a child's storybook, no, but
You
I
know the
wanted
story,
it.
don't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm just thinking when you're saying we're going to review it, it's not
No.
a film. This is a film
Surely there must
podcast.
be some sort of film.
Yeah,
like,
there must
adapt-
be.
adapted. Or there'll be some like really
don't wanna
famous
watch
film that's
that,
actually
though.
based on it, you've never known it.
Okay.
Well, hang on though. There's that really cute goat in that new Wish movie.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I take it all back. I love goats.
Yeah. But he's only cute because he's got Disney eyes.
He's got Disney eyes, yeah, and
Yeah.
he is little.
Yeah.
He's like the big hairy ones, the big like stocky hairy ones with the big horns. They're weird.
Big stocky hairy.
With the big horns.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Anyway, move on.
Then a goat rescues them. Yet another reason why goats are the best
Yeah.
animal on
Yeah, but not
earth.
on purpose. It's just dithering about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's their charm, isn't it?
That's their charm. We
Yeah.
literally just said that was the weirdest thing about them, second to eyes. They're just dithering around on mountains.
I don't know why I'm so protective of goats all of a sudden. I've never had any strong views on goats.
That's not true.
You have an affiliation with goats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goats are one
are
of
your
your top
thing.
5 spirit animals.
Yeah.
After wolves.
Thank you. Yeah, so they're rescued by that goat, and then they find themselves at this private research firm engaged in psychic and psychological experimentation. And again, I was just really interested in what that, like, the truth of that. And there is a bunch of stuff around the whole, like, subliminal messaging and things. They used it at Waco.
Really?
Yeah, where they played, like, I don't think Barney was around when Waco happened, but children's songs, real high volume,
Oh no.
just completely fuck them up,
Oh,
basically,
no.
and stuff.
Oh, I hated that bit so much.
Yeah.
And the light.
Yeah.
I was like, no. That did seem like torture.
Yeah, that bit was awful, wasn't it? And then Larry Hoop, whatever his name is.
Hooper.
No, Larry Hooper. Yes, well done.
Kevin Spacey
Yes.
is running the place.
He's running the place.
Yeah.
He's trying to get the band back together.
Well, kind of, but like a really fucked up version of the band where they're all just doing his evil stuff and not any of the good stuff.
Absolutely.
And they find a herd of goats that they're trying to particularly do that bit of disgusting work on.
That's Bucky snoring in the background. He's obviously...
Stop snoring, but...
I actually hate the sound of snoring. If someone's snoring, it's so irksome, and now I'm worried about all these listeners, all these thousands and millions of listeners listening to our dog just constantly snoring.
Yeah.
Let us know whether you like the sound of people
Yeah.
snoring or dogs snoring.
Yeah, dog snoring's got to be better than people.
Oh, for sure.
Let us know if you find it so boring that you're also falling asleep.
No, let us know if you're so calmed by our
Soothing,
conversation. Soothed.
Yeah.
Soothing sounds of Bucky's. What would it be? Snoring.
Snoring,
I was
yeah.
going to say his throat.
It's not a throat noise, is it?
Airways.
Yeah. Nasal passage.
And Bill Django is also there,
No.
and he's just like a super, like, depressed alcoholic,
Yeah.
and just is like shuffling around and looking really sad. And then Bob and Lynn think of a plan, or Bob and Bill think of a plan. I can't really remember. Two of them think of a plan. And it is to put LSD in the base's food. And then Bill Django's like, I also put it in the water.
I love that bit.
And
They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're drinking the water." She's like, "Yep."
I have a very high tolerance. Oh. And then they free the goats. They free the locals.
Yeah.
Partly that's an attempt to like put things right, free themselves from the curse.
Yeah. Although they're freed, they're still just in the middle of the desert, though.
Yeah.
Like those hostages, where are they going to go? And then you're probably going to say this, but then Bill, Django, and Lynn Cassidy attempt to fly off in a helicopter,
Well, they do fly off.
still high on acid,
Well,
and
yeah.
they are never seen again.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I looked up was whether the US Army now has a PSYOPs branch.
Ooh.
And it does.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's got an amazing insignia, which is a horse with a lightning bolt behind it.
Oh.
I'm
Really?
like, I want that to be... That is in my top 5 spirit animals as well.
Yeah.
Lightning.
Lightning bolt.
Horse with lightning bolt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And an insignia which says, persuade, change, influence.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, a lot of what they do is not great. It's not fun. It's not fun for the podcast. But it's
No,
like,
really.
I do love the bit at the start where Hobgood is saying, "Is it the Russians?" He's like, "The Russians think we have this department, so we now need to have one because they have one because they thought we
Yeah.
did. So now we have to have one to meet
Yeah.
them."
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes complete sense, even though it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
so Bob returns to work and he's like, I'm going to tell the story of this awful thing that they're doing, writes it all, spends loads of time on it, it kind of fixes his life. He's less worried about his wife and all of that stuff. He sees this is how his future should have gone so that he could meet his lofty goals of writing this experience up and telling everybody. And the only portion which is aired is how the captives were forced to listen to Bud.
Yeah.
Oh. And they make loads of jokes about it, don't they? Where they're like, which, as every parent knows, it would be a hellish situation and stuff. And then, I don't know what you guys thought of the end, but then he is constantly kind of practicing his own psychic abilities and in his office runs through the wall. Which I was like, I'm not loving the running through the wall
finale,
business.
Isn't it? He gets up like the guy has at the start and attempts to run, and then
Yeah.
the special effects aren't great, but I guess this wasn't the biggest budget thing. But he does run through the wall, and then that fades to black or cuts to black. Yeah.
It goes from like, it's a bit silly, that bit, but you can see why they did it.
Yeah, I would have liked it if they'd have cut to black like a second before he hit the wall, so you just didn't know.
Yes, that.
Yeah. He may have done, he may have not. You just didn't know. I think that would have been good.
Yeah.
Alas,
no.
There's loads of the other stuff. Like I quite enjoyed when Lynn was teaching Bob about how to like diffuse the situation of fighting, and he's like, "Come and attack me," and he's like, "I'm going to divert your mind and do it all." And he's just a really good like hand-to-hand combat person. Yeah. That was really funny because he's like, "See, you just didn't want to do it." It's like you just clearly backed him away immediately. Whereas then him running through at the end, like, "Oh, we're actually going along with the whole like this is doable now."
Yeah.
There's a similar bit to that actually, which where George Clooney is saying, in hand-to-hand combat you should do this, but he's like saying how's the diffuser situation, and he says, and then you just stab him right in the neck, and you want to get like a really big fountain of blood, but he just does it in that amazing deadpan way.
Yeah.
And the other guy, Bob, is like, fountain of blood, and he's like, a real fountain of blood, and then you've just won. And he's just like, oh,
that will put them off, and then they won't. Like, you've got into their mind, and you're like, well,
they're like, I don't have a pen ready. I can't do this.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So, sorry, Sam. It's time for the score.
Love that.
Bruv.
So now it's the time in the podcast where we give a score to the film. As usual, each lab will give a score out of 5 for 3 categories: enjoyability, shareability, and masterpiece ability, giving a total score of 60. So let's kick off with enjoyability. Ab, it was your film. How much did you enjoy your film choice?
Sam, I gave it a 4.5.
Nice.
I gave it a 4.
Ooh,
Oh.
loose.
I gave it a 3.5, Sam.
Oh,
I also gave it a 3.5.
rude.
That's a very good score. So, Ab, 4.5.
Yeah, I just thought it was good fun. Like, it was enjoyable. That's it really. They're funny. It was very short. I enjoy that. 1.5 hour film.
Yeah,
Yeah, can't be that.
they're the
every now and
pinnacle,
then,
aren't they? Yeah.
A minute 30 songs. That's how life needs to be.
Loose, 3.5 for you.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fun. I enjoyed the story, but I did find it a little bit tedious in the middle, and I was just found myself like my mind wandering a little, and I just wanted it to be. I think my expectations were not in line with what it was, so I was like, oh, okay. I had that moment where I was like, okay, this is where this movie's going, and I was like, oh, I wish it was going somewhere different, like animal testing. Unless it's in Guardians of the Galaxy, is probably not something I want to watch.
Should we go on to shareability? Yeah. Dan, what did you go for?
I gave it a 4.
Nice. Loose.
3.5.
Abby.
I gave it a 3.5, Sam. I gave it a 7, Sam.
And I gave it a 3. Mainly because it is a slightly older film, and you guys would be the ones that I would recommend it to. And yeah, not that I wouldn't share it with people, but I don't know who else I would share it with. That's probably my limited social. Dan, you scored highest there, 4.
Yeah, I think I probably would recommend this film to a lot of people. I think because it's unusual. Not a lot of people have heard of it, I think. And it's got some really good actors in that people do love. And they're good in it as well. Like
Yeah,
George
yeah.
Clooney is really good in this.
Yeah.
I would tell my mum and dad about this.
It's one of his one of my favourite ones with him in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very much like the overall art though. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. No, and also that there's it's kind of wacky, it's a bit crazy, and then you kind of work out it's based on some true things that the US Army actually did. I think I would recommend this to a lot of people.
it's funny because I think there's a lot of probably older ladies out there who love George Clooney, but I feel like those people probably don't love his best films.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
They just
sure.
like the idea
Yeah,
of
yeah.
him. But if you think about like even like his voice acting, all that stuff, his best films are not the ones that people are going to see.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Well, yeah, but they might be the best films in your opinion because those are the films you like.
No, I think it's like his best acting, like his best characters.
Yeah, in your opinion. But
Yeah,
like,
it's the right opinion.
no, but like the old, if the old ladies like the rom-coms and like the heartthrob George Clooney, then they're going to say that those are his best roles and the best films, and they love them.
They would be wrong, I guess, but
Yeah,
we.
but you can tell it's like better acting. Like he's earning his money more.
He's having to work harder in a film like this, and I think he is when he's just being.
Yeah, his
smooth.
comedic timing, his
Yeah,
like
yeah.
delivery, all that stuff. Like
Yeah,
What
I
is
really
he,
like
Smooth George Clooney, in?
he was in wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh yeah, but wasn't surely he's in loads more movies like old school.
I mean, he was Bruce
Classic
Wayne
part.
in Batman and Robin, wasn't he? That's probably where most old women like him.
They love him in that, yeah.
So the next category is masterpiece ability. Let's go with Ab,
4.
Lucy,
3.5.
Dan.
3.25.
No.
Incorrect.
Dan.
Why am I not allowed a 3.25?
Look,
You know why?
if
You're allowed 0.5, so I'm not
Listen,
allowed 0.25.
if enough listeners say they want quarter scores, really fun thing to say, we will.
3.75.
Incorrect again. Sam, you work out the average of those. It's going to be hard, but we think you can do it.
I've already written down 3, so it's a 3. And I went for a 3 as well. Anyone want to discuss their masterpiece ability?
I just thought it was really beautifully shot. Probably scored it a bit highly, but yeah, that was the main reason why. Just because there were some scenes that was just really beautiful, and you're like, oh, this is lovely.
What specifically?
Specifically, the bit just before they're found by the goat, and then the bit where they're laid by the oasis, and it like pans out, really like amazing scenes of deserts, and it's kind of, I don't know, it feels of its time maybe, but very like auteur like.
I just kept thinking about that bit when they're drinking from that oasis. They're not actually drinking. Well, George Clooney isn't. I think Ewan Macgregor is, but I was like, you're not actually doing it. You're acting. Just drink a little bit.
Oh, really? You could see that he wasn't drinking?
Yeah, and then he turns over and his face is completely like dry, and I want to be like, there's a continuity issue here, guys. Drink some of the water, make it look
Or at least splash on your face.
exactly.
No, but is he a better actor because he's acting?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Whereas Ewan McGregor's not acting, he was just doing it.
He's not wasted a drop. All gone right down his pipe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe he's just very, very efficient.
Yeah. I don't think you can be though if you're on your hands and knees in Oasis.
Maybe he's like a cat.
We didn't see him drinking like a cat though, did we?
No, but I agree. It was very nicely shot.
Dan, 3?
Why did you hate it?
No, I would have given it a 3.25, but
I wasn't allowed.
it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I think it is well shot. And there's some good special effects, like the car goes over a mine, the car flips over, like the way that is.
That's
done
well done,
Makes
yeah.
you like almost jump. You're not expecting that. That's really good. But then there's a couple of bits like it is weird how many times they mention Jedis,
Yeah,
and it's just
Yeah.
not a funny joke after like
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
10 minutes.
agreed.
There's a couple of bits like that, but yeah, it was great. Really good film.
Yeah, mine's similar. Like, I really liked Bob and Lynn's characters. Thought they were really good with each other. The story was really good. For me, it just didn't have enough altogether to give it a high score. But for what it was, I really liked it.
And again, I think, like, obviously I'm joking, why did you hate it and give it 3? We're only scoring at 5.
Yeah, that's
like
60%.
a 3
That's
is
really good.
60%.
Yeah, and we're talking masterpiece ability here. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking like a film that will go down in history, like our best ever films. Like, that 5 is like, we're hardly giving that out, I feel
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
And we have said that everyone forgot this film immediately in 2009.
But undeservedly so. I think it's
Yeah,
a decent
I
Yeah,
think
it
film.
so.
deserves more love than it got, for sure. But that gives The Men Who Stare at Ghosts a total score of 43 out of 60, which is
good.
a pretty commendable score.
Yeah.
And that's just above my my first choice as well as my second choice of Young Frankenstein is far, far above my first choice of Dirty Dancing.
Wait, hang on. This scored more than Young Frankenstein, did it?
I think so. I think it scored 40, whatever it was, to 42
Oh, did it?
was Young
Oh,
Frankenstein.
I see.
Oh, see, like, I prefer... Well, I suppose it's an average of all 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
I probably preferred Young Frankenstein just because it was just fresh and, like, even though it was the least fresh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming along to this week's Lads Film Club and joining us while we discussed The Men Who Stare at Goats.
We'd love to know what you thought about it too. Did you find it as fun as we did? Let us know on our social channels on Twitter, Insta or Facebook. Find the details in the description.
And join us next week where we'll be discussing another film.
So, if you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please leave us a rating and a review, please.
Please.
And don't forget to share with your own lads.
And share it with everybody. We're not picky.
Maybe not the goats. Because Lucy hates goats. And she really doesn't want you to share it with them.
Not this movie. This movie is not for goats.
No, that's a good
That's true.
point.
Do not share.
Oh, don't get your pet goats to watch this film. Because it's not what you all hope.
So grab your popcorn.
Round up your lads.
Good watching.
And join us next week.
Bye.
Go, 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 go. What do you think about goat's eyes?
Bam.
Alright, off you go.
Bam.
Bye.